Hello, and welcome to my first ever Raw review. It certainly won't be the last. I can definitely guarantee that. This was Raw. This was the Raw after WrestleMania 32. This Raw was in Dallas. Just to start things off, I thought this Raw was a pretty decent Raw with some high quality flaws. I'll get to the flaws of what I didn't like about this show in just a minute. But I have to applaud WWE for making a very, very smart decision in making AJ Styles, the guy who just came here, the guy who wrestled in Ring of Honor, the guy who wrestled in TNA, the guy who wrestled in New Japan, who's been ROH champion, TNA champion, NWGP champion, to come here finally and become the new number one contender for the World Heavyweight Champion. I gotta say, as a fan of AJ Styles, it's almost unbelievable, I'm very proud as a fan, to know that it's gonna happen. However, I think a lot of us know that AJ Styles will probably lose against Roman Reigns. And it's not because AJ Styles does not have the skills to beat Roman Reigns. I think it only makes sense that Roman Reigns just got the title. I don't see Roman Reigns losing the title anytime soon, especially the way they're booking Roman Reigns. Unless they turn him heel. I mean, look at the way Roman Reigns is getting booed. Roman Reigns got booed tremendously on Monday Night Raw. When it came out, and before you can even get a word in, this guy was getting booed out the freaking building, and he kind of had like this smirk on it. Like, he had this smug look. I'm not a bad guy. I'm not a good guy. I'm the guy. And it just, when he said that, it really felt so smug to me. Like, it just, everything about Roman Reigns is just so smug. And he got booed on this. He got booed on this Monday night than more than I think he's ever got booed in his life. He got booed bad at Royal Rumble. He got booed bad. Roman Reigns got booed a lot of times. But this was one of the times where Roman Reigns just really, really got booed. This was one of the worst Raws for Roman Reigns in a very long time. There could be another one where he got booed a lot more. But I thought this Raw, after hearing the reaction, I was like, wow, like, they literally hate him. And I'm not a fan of him myself, but I just think that this Raw was just one of those Raws where he just got booed out the freaking building. And it was just like, wow. We got a couple, since this was, Raw through WrestleMania, it's always going to be some big surprises. The big surprise did not happen for me, but we did get another big surprise that I guess I can live with. No, there's no I guess. I can live with, and I'm very happy about. I thought, personally, I was really hoping that the Bullet Club would have had debuted here on Monday Night Raw. It didn't happen, but it was okay, I guess. We were still able to get Cesaro back. We got Enzo and Cass in their debut. We got Baron Corbin in his debut. We got Apollo Crews in his debut. So we got a lot of NXT people making their debut on Raw. The Vaudevillains will be making their debut on SmackDown. So we're getting new faces, new talent. We have 2 new tag teams to add to the tag team roster for New Day to face. Maybe Enzo and Cass can step up to the plate. I think New Day is still they're still face. So maybe the Vaudevillains maybe step up to the plate and, see where they can go. I'd see Enzo and Cass definitely will get that spot. I think Enzo and Cass are probably as over as New Day at this point. When Enzo and Cass came out and they were saying their catchphrases, the whole crowd was saying the catchphrases along with them. And I think WWE has to, they have to pay attention to that, because for someone who just, NXT, not everybody watches NXT, but definitely that crowd was definitely a smart crowd who watches NXT as much as they watch, the main roster. And I think it had to been literally probably like every single person in that arena who was saying the Enzo and Cass catchphrase. How you doing, and the whole thing. So they should definitely pay attention to that, because the crowd was drawn to Enzo and Cass the same way they're drawn to the New Day. We know when the New Day come out, when they say their own catchphrase and stuff like that. So We got some new faces here. We got a new champion in The Miz beating Zack Ryder, and I'm gonna talk about this for myself. This is one of the things I didn't like. I'm not a fan of Zack Ryder. I don't think. Actually, I'll take it back. I was a fan of Zack Ryder when he started getting that little push. I'm not gonna lie. I guess I was a little bit fan of his, but then again, I was a lot younger then as well. Now I see Zack Ryder as an absolute joke. I see Zack Ryder no bigger than Santino Marella. You can say whatever you want. A lot of people said he deserved it last night, and I can argue that there's nothing about Zack Ryder that he deserves any title. In my opinion, Zack Ryder hasn't been on TV in 2 years, and you can say he gravitates some kind of fan base. Okay, yeah, sure. But I think he only gravitates that fan base because he's such a silly competitor. Like, Santino Marella gets that kind of, like, fan cheers when he comes back and he does Little Cobra. I think he only gets that because it's so silly. I remember when it was Elimination Chamber, I don't know which one it was. I don't know if it was, like, 2012 or 13. I think it was the 2012 Elimination Chamber. And I remember Santino, I think it came down to Santino and Daniel Bryan. And I remember one of the biggest things where Santino, he hit the Cobra on Daniel Bryan. And the crowd just erupted. And because everybody wanted Santino to win. But I don't think anyone wanted Santino to win because they felt like he fully deserved it. Or he was the right guy who should have been the main champion. I think they wanted him to win because they felt like, oh, this would be so silly if Santino Marella won the world championship. It kind of felt the same way thing here. I think since Zack Ryder was like the person that everybody probably least expected, it probably felt silly for everybody. It was like, oh, it's Zack Ryder, and he gets the Intercontinental Championship out of, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, and Dolph Ziggler. So, let's just cheer him. I guess if anything, Zack Ryder does deserve a small little moment because he has had his time in WWE. So I guess if he deserves any type of spot, sure, he can have a little spot there. But it was short-lived. It was funny because there was a meme, and it was like, oh, Zack Ryder, he gets his little WrestleMania push, and it's gone. And that's literally how it was. He got his little push, and now it's pretty much gone. I mean, he'll be facing Miz tomorrow night on SmackDown, but I think Zack Ryder will lose, and we probably won't see that much of Zack Ryder after this. He might have few more matches for a couple more weeks, then we won't see Zack Ryder for a little while. But that's one of the things I didn't like. Baron Corbin's debut, I also didn't like. Baron Corbin, I don't know. I felt like when I first saw Baron Corbin, he was this really great guy. I mean, he has a really nice finisher. He's a big, tall guy. I mean, Vince likes big, tall guys. He has a cool finisher, but I guess it's his debut. I just didn't like this match between Baron Corbin and Dolph Ziggler. I don't know. It was the same thing with him and Austin Aries. It was just like, Baron Corbin either... I don't know. Something about Baron Corbin, I like his look. I like his sound. I like his finisher. I like his entrance. That's fine. I think he still needs to captivate his whole moveset and, learn how to wrestle just a little bit more. And I think Baron Corbin could be maybe top heel. I don't know if this was the right time to debut him. I don't think I would debut to him just yet, in my opinion. But it was a good way to show some new faces. He won the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, so kudos to him, I guess, Who else? What else did we get today? Shane was able to run Monday Night Raw on Monday night, so that was a surprise. It kind of felt kind of stupid to me because it was like Shane just put his body and so on a line, and even though he lost, it's like he could have not jumped off the cell, and then probably still would have got the opportunity to run Monday Night Raw, and it's like, well, Shane put his body on the line for nothing, poor guy, you know what I mean? But nonetheless, they ran Raw, and Raw was decent, the best parts were, I guess, the NXT guys showing up, but the main attraction was the Fatal 4-Way, Cesaro returning, looked great, by the way, having a Fatal 4-Way between Chris Jericho, Cesaro, AJ Styles, and Kevin Owens, which I'm probably going to watch after this little Raw review because I just need to probably watch that match again in its entirety. it was a great match, you know, with some of the